Hello, this is CONNORISSUPERGOOFY, and welcome back to another ranking video. Except, I thought I'd try something new today. Instead of ranking every song on one of my albums, I thought I'd rank every album, except I would be ranking all of the lead singles from each of my albums. So basically what I'm going to be ranking today is I'm going to be looking at most of my albums. I'll get to why it's not all of them in a second, but I'm going to be ranking most of my albums based on how good the lead single was. Now, for ranking these lead singles, so basically with the lead single, so I should probably clarify what the lead single is. The lead single is not just the first song that dropped before the album, but it actually has to be the designated lead single for the album. And I'm gonna be ranking them. So, and unlike in just my normal album rankings, the how good the song is on its own is not the criterion. Instead, I'm going to be ranking it based on how well the song functions as a lead single for its respective albums. And like I said, it's not the first track to, the criteria is not the first track to drop from the album. Like, for example, Super Goofy Christmas was the first track to drop that ended up on Evil Face, but that's not technically the lead single. The lead single was Evil Villain, because that was the designated lead single, for example. But I'm going to be ranking it based on how well it functions as a lead single, not as just a standalone song. So, yeah, that is how I'm going to be doing it. And also, I won't be going over albums that didn't technically have a lead single. That's why I said I wasn't going to be doing all of them. Which means that Cheese Egg Omelet 2.0 and Scathe will not be counted here. Cheese Egg Omelet 2.0 and Scathe, neither of those albums technically had a lead single. Scathe did have songs from it drop before it, but I decided to drop the album spontaneously. I didn't really have a designated single for it, if you know what I mean. So we're going to be starting with the Alpha lead single, Goofy Boys. So how does Goofy Boys set the tone for Alpha? Well, so one more thing. I'm going to be ranking them into the standard tiers. And hold on, let me add an F. Let me add an F, just to be like that. So Alpha, Goofy Boys. Goofy Boys is really good. Goofy Boys is not only a really good song, but it works perfectly as the lead single for Alpha. It's a perfect tone setter. It sets the tone. It's a perfect tone setter for the album, and I think it has just this song is such a perfect lead single for Alpha that I don't even have words to explain it. It's an S tier. Anyway, so Beta. The Beta lead single was True Evil, which was released only a couple weeks after the full album of Alpha dropped. Now, one of the things that might drag a lead single down is if there was a song on the album that would have been a better lead single than the lead single that I chose, and True Evil is one of those. So, I hadn't recorded Turn on the Speakers and Blare Music by the time that True Evil had dropped, but Turn on the Speakers, Blare Music would have been the perfect lead single for Beta, which means that True Evil is a it's a fine song, I guess, but it is dragged down by the fact that there is Turn on the Speakers, but it would have been a better lead single. But True Evil as a lead single isn't that bad, but it did flop. I remember it didn't get that much attention, so I'm torn between B or C tier. I think I'm going to go C for this one, because as a lead single, I think it's just average. It's fine. Alright. Alpha 2.0 was led by Virus version 2.0, and I think it's going to be another S tier lead single. Can't quite say it's a better lead single than Goofy Boys, but it's another really good one. I don't think I really need to explain much about how this song is able to lead off the album. Okay, Cheese Egg Omelet is an interesting one. So technically the lead single was Nemesis, but it wasn't but it was a different version of Nemesis than the version that ended up on the album. The version that ended up on the ultimate streaming release of the album was the version that actually had the beat behind it, but the version that was released as the lead single was the clapping and rapping version. I think Nemesis is a good lead single, but not as good as these two up here. Nemesis did become a hit, but that was the beat version that ended up on the album. So I think overall Nemesis is a good lead single. It's like an A tier. Alright. Impossible Logic. Now, those of you who just casually listen to me may think, oh, well, Friends in My Math Class is the lead single. Boom. Easy S tier. No questions asked. But actually, Friends in My Math Class is not the lead single from Impossible Logic. It was the second single, which was released only a single day after the actual lead single, which was Extremely Goofy. Now, obviously, Extremely Goofy did not get huge. It did chart on the Hot List in December of 2022, but it was mostly overshadowed by Friends in My Math Class, which is the second single, which obviously would have been a much better lead single for the album. Extremely Goofy is a good song, but as a lead single, I think it's better than True Evil as a lead single. I think it's like it's going to be like a B tier. So the Birthday album. Birthday was led by Ender Dragon. Ender Dragon with Daniel Van Cleve and Cameron Torres. Now, as a lead single, I remember this song didn't do as well as I was hoping it would. I was hoping that, oh, it's me and Daniel Van Cleve's comeback. He hadn't made a song since Goofy Boys at that time. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a big hit. But, nah, it wasn't. So, and as a lead single, I think that Class Field Trip exists on the album. Class Field Trip and Coach Fam's on the Bus both exist. Both got way bigger than Ender Dragon did, and both would have functioned better as lead singles. I think Class Field Trip would have functioned better than Coach Fam's on the Bus as a lead single, but they both would have functioned better than Ender Dragon. And Ender Dragon, I think, is a song that has definitely grown off me quite a bit since it first came out right at the beginning of 2023. So, I think it's better than True Evil, but not better than anything else. It's like a C tier. Alright. Connor the Mega album was led by Rhodium. Technically, Mercy released before it, but Rhodium was technically the lead single. Because, believe it or not, Mercy was going to go on Birthday, but then I decided it didn't fit on the album at all, so I saved it for Connor the Mega album. So Rhodium was technically the lead single. And Rhodium is a good lead single. Sets the tone for the album pretty well. Features Reagan and Leal and Aiden Navarre's on it. It's a really good lead single. But then again, there is Easel Weasel. But as great and as great as Easel Weasel was, I don't know whether setting the tone for the album with it would have been the smartest idea. Easel Weasel, I think, definitely worked better as that last single that released right before the album dropped. I think Rhodium does better as a lead single. So, does it stack up with Goofy Boys or Virus version 2.0 though? No, it doesn't. Not as a lead single. I'll put it above Nemesis, but I won't put it above these two. It's an A tier. Alright. Beta 2.0 was led by Streetlights version 2.0. Now, this song caught fire. When I dropped the song, this is right as I was starting myself up on SoundCloud. I dropped this right as I was starting up on SoundCloud. It's got fire on SoundCloud and basically flopped everywhere else. And it's to this day my most played song on SoundCloud. As a lead single, I gotta think about it. Because honestly, I don't think there's any other song that would have made for a better lead single than Streetlights version 2.0 for Beta 2.0. Is it better than Rhodium as a lead single? It might be. I don't think I can put an S tier, but I can certainly put an A tier. Alright. Evil Face was led by Evil Villain, which dropped on New Year's Day of 2024, peaked at number 4 on Connor's Hot List, 2 separate times, once in January of 2024 and another later on in September. And Evil Villain is another S-tier lead single. In fact, I'd put it above Virus version 2.0. It's a great tone setter for the album. It actually fits as a lead single for an album called Evil Face. That's kind of got kind of that more dark tone to it, like a lot of that album does. And yeah, it's a great lead. It's a as a lead single, I think that Evil Villain kills. Isn't quite Goofy Boys level though. Anyway, Gamma. So Gamma was led by Authenticity, which is a song that had Daniel Van Cleve on it. And this is another lead single that I would have to put in S tier, because the song is literally about the mission of the song and of the whole album. To take my listeners back to a time when my music was very literally simpler. It has Daniel Van Cleve helping with it again. It's another, it's basically built to be the lead single. Even more than Goofy Boys is. In fact, I'd have to rank this above Goofy Boys as a lead single because it's basically built for it. Alright, Party People. Another good lead single as well with You're the Bad Guys. Sets the tone for the album really well. Sets the tone for my senior year of high school very well. And honestly, this was another S tier. This is another S tier lead single. Can't quite put it up on Evil Villain level. It's another S tier lead single. Alright, the lead single from Alpha 3.0. was You Broke Isaac Football Too Easy version 2.0. Honestly, I could have chosen any song for a lead single, and I don't think it would have made a difference. I think I Declare War on You version 3.0, which was the second single, I think works slightly better as a lead single, but actually, honestly, I think that I Declare War on You should have been the lead single, and You Broke Isaac Football Too Easy version 3.0 shouldn't have. Yeah, this is another, C tier one. In fact, I think it's probably the least convincing lead single we've seen all day. Alright, we have the holiday special, which was led with My Jingle Bell Don't Jingle. I don't think I need to say anything more about it, except, I don't think I need to say anything about it. That's how obviously perfect it was as a lead single. Can't put it up with authenticity because it wasn't necessarily have that. It didn't necessarily have the lead single built into its DNA like authenticity did. But honestly, I think it's even better than Goofy Boys as a lead single. Like it's so like perfect. Now Theodore Dog Weeby. Oh, Mansions is the lead single. Yeah, right? Wrong. Mansions is not technically the lead single from Theodore Dog Weeby. It's the lead single from Wave 1, but it's not technically the lead single from the actual album, as the album cycle is counted when the third wave starts, which means that Poisonous Potato is actually the lead single from this album. And although Poisonous Potato is a good lead single and is a better song than Mansions, I think Mansions as a lead single functions better than Poisonous Potato, but I can't get too mad. I can't get too mad at it. I think you can sit in B tier up with Extremely Goofy from Impossible Logic. But right, Skate did not have a lead single, and Life After Graduation. Let's take a look at Life After Graduation. So its lead single was the Call That Cap remix. As a song, it's great, right? As a lead single, I don't think it quite punches as well as the lead single. Now, I'm gonna put it in B tier below Extremely Goofy for the reason that it's kind of wobbly and kind of weird. Don't think it is that good of a choice for a single. And also I think because Hooligans would have set the tone for the album better. That was the second single, and that one took off. So, because Hooligans is there, like, I can't put it above, like, a low B tier, honestly. Alright, we got Impossible Logic and Birthday 2.0, which was led by the single SHPOT version 2.0, which, honestly, while it isn't necessarily my favorite song, I don't think that there could have been a better lead single from that album. That album is just so okay. It's not a great album. None of the tracks are anything more or less than okay. And I think SHPOT version 2.0, I think it works fine as a lead single. In fact, I think it works better than all of these, but it doesn't go anywhere above B tier. So Wonder was led by the Doghouse. And the Doghouse, um, the Doghouse as a lead single was good, but there were other singles that I released on the deluxe that would have functioned better as lead singles, like River Jams. River Jams was pretty much begging to be a lead single, and I think even I Hate It would have been a better lead single than The Doghouse. So because of that, I can't really put it. I have to put it in B tier again because um I'm going to put it in B tier again, and I'm actually going to move You Broke Isaac Football 2 Easy version 3.0 down to D tier because I realized there isn't really anything down in the bottom tiers. And More Promises from Void is my most recent lead single, and honestly, this is not a great lead single. I mean, spoiler alert, for what the album is going to feel like, but there isn't really any song on Void that would be like, oh, this is the perfect lead single. There's not really any song that fits that niche. But even even for an album full of pretty non-single level tracks, More Promises doesn't really do well as a lead single, even in that niche point. I think a song like Thrill of the Hill or Anderson's Sleepover, which is coming out in like less than a couple weeks, which would be the third single, I think even those would be better lead singles, but even those songs aren't perfect lead singles. Like, there's no real song off Void that's like, this is a smash hit. Which is why I'm actually expecting this album to not really do that well. Because it doesn't have any songs that are like an agreeable smash hit song. But even from an album more niche appeal tracks, More Promises isn't that great of a lead single. In fact, I'd have to put it in D tier because at least You Broke Isaac Football 2 Easy version 2.0 actually has that kind of energetic. It actually feels a little bit more like a single, whereas More Promises doesn't really do that. So, yeah. That's me ranking all of my lead singles. And, yeah. Hope you enjoyed this kind of new sort of video idea that I had. That's about it. See ya.